Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on the latest transfer stories. We start with Clement Lenglet as the Barca defender prefers to stay in Europe over Saudi Arabia, making things difficult for Barca to pull off his transfer. We are going to discuss on that as we move ahead. Secondly, talking about seasonal tests, as the Barca young defender could leave on loan, Barca are pushing for a decision very, very soon. We are also going to be discussing more on that stories. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. For those who are just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are highly welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Clement Lenglet's exit has been one Barcelona's priorities throughout summer transfer window, but it has not been an easy operation to finalize. Commanding a very hefty wage, the Frenchman is one of the pieces from the Bartomeu era that still remains after being offered an unsustainably high wage. Lately, it seems as though the Catalans could finally see an avenue for him to leave, with Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr coming in for with an offer for him. The defender would fetch um, the club around 15 million euros, and Al Nassr would also be willing to meet his wage demands in a window that has been seen the Middle Eastern nation make major money moves. You know, while the central defender has not ruled out Al Nassr's offer, journalist Luis Rojo reports that he does prefer to stay in Europe and has asked Barcelona for a bit more time to decide on his future. This corroborates earlier reports that suggested the same, with the player looking to receive some offers from European clubs before he eventually settles in Saudi Arabia if one does not arrive. There will be movements with Lenglet's move to Al Nassr, but his entourage and Barcelona officials were also scheduled to meet and discuss other options. The move could be vital for Barcelona, with the club still waiting to register a couple more players and aiming to bring in João Cancelo before the window ends to finish reinforcing the squad for the new season. Reports from Serie A teams' interests in the central back have also been circulating quite a bit, but they were seemingly only looking for loan deals, which in Barcelona's current financial climate is unfeasible. Of course, unfeasible indeed. Barcelona have been pushing Lenglet to leave the club for a long time, and I think that it's really frustrating that almost after 2 months, Barca have still to succeed in cashing in on Lenglet. Lenglet was supposed to be in Tottenham right now, but just that, negotiations were not fruitful at all, as Tottenham were always saying that they don't have that amount that Barca are asking for. Barca have been demanding 15 million euros for Lenglet for a very long time, and they haven't shaked from that amount since. Whereas Tottenham were having just 5 million, but Barca refused. But Tottenham were insisting that they don't think it's feasible for them to add more than 5, as they will be the one to pay all the players' salary next season. How does that concern Barca? If they want to pay the 16 million, that's a business, because that time he is their player, not us. What Barca is interested in now is to negotiate transfer fee. So how come with Tottenham is saying such? I still don't get it. Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr these past couple of days have been showing strong interest yet again for Clement Lenglet, and Barcelona are very pleased because the Saudi Arabian side have no issues with the 15 million euros demanded, as they want to sign him and they want to pay the money. But the thing is, Lenglet is still making things to be very slow, and I think Barcelona will be so annoyed because now this report saying that Lenglet is still talking about the fact that he wants more time. He still prefers to stay in Europe rather than going to Saudi Arabia and stuff like that. There is no time. We have barely 2 weeks to go. We have barely 2 weeks to go, and you're talking about time. All right, let's just see the let's just give him the time. But the truth is, he needs to leave. He himself knows that there is no chance for him to keep playing if he stays, because Xavi have already made it clear that he is not having any plan for him in his current Barca project. So Lenglet is already like he already have where he can go. Saudi Arabian side and Nas have already opened the door. Barca have already agreed terms with the Saudi Arabian giants, but it is now left for the player to give a green light on the move, which as things stand still looks a little bit complicated as the player still doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. But this report further states that if it happens that no substantial offer were to arrive again for the player on a permanent basis, then he would therefore contemplate going to Saudi Arabia, and he, of course, we will see his name cleared off from the wage roster for Barca. And I think that 15 million euros will go a long way to help us big time in order to reinforce the squad for the remaining few weeks of the transfer window. So let's see how it's going to go for Lenglet's future, as the player is still a little bit stubborn as to his transfer, but Barca are hopeful that things will go well, especially Saudi Arabian side and Nasser, who have already said they'll pay all the 15 million for Lenglet. Then on to the next story of discussion. Why Barcelona have might not found a solution for the sale of one of their out-of-favor defender in Lenglet. They are not having any such luck with Dest as well. Lenglet, as per a recent report, could be on the move soon to Al Nassr of Saudi Arabia, emerging as an option. However, there have not been many clubs willing to take on Dest signing this summer. As such, Barcelona are set to meet the 22-year-old and discuss his future, with the club pressing him for a decision. According to Sport, Barca were ideally hoping to sell Dest on a permanent deal this summer, but the report suggests that the Blaugrana are now open to accepting a loan exit for the out-of-favor right back. Dest, for his part, has attracted interest from smaller clubs but has been holding out for a team where he can play Champions League football. But considering that there are no such teams interested, he is now open to assessing that proposal or what proposal he has on the table. At the same time, the clubs that have shown interest in Dest would be unable to cover his wages. In that scenario, the Catalans are prepared to pay a part of his salary to help him leave. In the recent past, reports had suggested that the termination of his contract was not entirely ruled out. However, for now, Barca are exploring the possibilities of loan debts and hope to reach a satisfactory solution by next week. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.